Hey guys, what's going on? Austin here. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at 5-minute fantasies, booming and busting quarterbacks. So my start of the week I'm going to say is Alex Smith. The last couple games, Alex Smith has been absolutely dominating through the air. He's got a ton of yards. He almost came back to beat Detroit, which would have been really impressive. It would have been really great for that Washington team. They're almost, they were almost in the lead in the division at that point. If they would have had that. They've got a game against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got a really porous defense and a pretty decent offense, so this could end up being a shootout. Look to start Alex Smith this week in what could be his start for the campaign of Comeback Player of the Year. I'm also going to say Tua Tagovailoa because I think this could end up being somewhat of an offensive game. Miami's defense is a lot better than Denver's is, but Denver has a very good rushing defense, which that kind of neutralizes a lot of the plans that Miami's been running with for the last several weeks. So look for Tua to have to throw the ball through the air against not great cornerback play in Denver. They've got some good safeties, but not really great corners. So potentially a big game for Tua here. I'm going to say Ben Roethlisberger versus Jacksonville. I think that Jacksonville's offense is going to be good enough to keep the game uncomfortable with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But, the Steelers offense under Big Ben, they're going to be taken off because the Jaguars defense is terrible. So Big Ben start this week. He's going to be able to distribute the ball to a lot of his wide receivers. Jameis Winston versus Atlanta. Atlanta obviously knows Jameis Winston, but the difference is Jameis Winston's now on New Orleans, obviously. New Orleans is a lot smarter when it comes to game planning than Tampa Bay was with Jameis Winston. Look for Jameis Winston to get the ball to his tight end, both of his wide receivers a lot. I just saw a report that said Alvin Kamara didn't practice today. If he's in the game, that's going to be even more support for Jameis than if he wasn't because, he can catch the ball out of the backfield so well. So look to start Jameis Winston. And then Joe Burrow against Washington. Now, Washington right now is atop the league, I believe, in terms of passing defense, like total yards and touchdowns, kind of thing like that. But Joe Burrow, he's been doing really great. Top 5 rookie offensive player so far this year. He just got off a game against Pittsburgh where the team didn't play great, the offense didn't play great, but obviously Washington's not Pittsburgh. So I'll look to start him in what should be a bounce back game this week. I'm going to say sit Carson Wentz versus Cleveland. Carson Wentz has been on a slide lately. Things aren't looking good for him. And Cleveland's defense has really been muddying up waters for some good offenses lately. A couple weeks ago they really screwed up a game for the Raiders, which, it was in a snowstorm, but the Raiders only scored 16 points, and then last week I believe they held the Texans to 7 or something like that. It was a really ugly game. So make sure to sit Carson Wentz. I'm going to say sit Matthew Stafford. Both of Matthew Stafford's receivers right now are banged up. I don't know if either of them are going to play or both of them are going to play. It could be either. But Carolina is susceptible to the run. Right now, DeAndre Swift is looking like he's not going to be playing, but they've still got Adrian Peterson and Kerryon Johnson. It's a game that I think that Detroit wins, but not because of Stafford this week. Teddy Bridgewater's out, so look for them to try to take control of the game through the ground, not through Matthew Stafford. I'm going to say sit Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is 2-0 this year against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's winless against every other team so far. It's not necessarily been because of his play, but New England right now is working on their 3rd consecutive win. They're trying to make a playoff push. This is kind of like do or die territory for them. The way they celebrated after the win against the Jets was kind of odd to see from New England. So, with their secondary, I believe that they're going to be able to limit most of what Deshaun Watson wants to do. Important thing to note, New England is susceptible to deep ball passing, but Deshaun Watson is, he's kind of like a 50-50 deep ball passer to begin with. So Will Fuller might end up having a great game, but I don't think Deshaun Watson will. I'm going to say sit Ryan Tannehill at Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore, they had a bad game against New England, but New England only ended up scoring like 21 points, I think, or 22 points. It was low. And Baltimore is getting some players back. I know that they had, I think, 3 defensive, starters that missed that game. At least 2 of them are coming back. So I think Ryan Tannehill is going to have another slow game this week. And then Tom Brady against Los Angeles. Right now, the Los Angeles Rams, LAR, right now they're actually top 2 in total defense in terms of yards, passing yards, total points, things like that. It's them and the Steelers are up there. Surprisingly, they're the best defense in the NFC. People aren't really talking about it. They've got Aaron Donald, who can get pressure up the middle. They've got Jalen Ramsey and a really good secondary who can take care of, the plethora of receivers and targets that they have in Tampa Bay. So be careful about starting Tom Brady this week. All right, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel and stay up to date on all of our future content.